Chicago Blackhawks, the National Hockey League champions for the first time since joining the league 41 years ago, meet the Toronto Maple Leafs in a semi-final series. The Hawks are overwhelming favorites with a strong offense, led by Bobby Hull, who has just completed a 52-goal season, and Stan Mikita, the first player ever to win 3 major individual awards in 1 year. The Leafs, backed by the spectacular goaltending of Terry Sawchuk, a 37-year-old scarred veteran of 17 seasons, start to win games on Chicago ice, something they failed to do all year. Toronto, a team that suffered a 10-game losing streak during the regular season, are home to playoff perfection by coach Punch Imlach and King Clancy. The Hawks win 2 games in the series, but the Leafs' solid defensive play, relentless forechecking, and superb goaltending form a combination Chicago can't master. Toronto wins a berth in the finals, eliminating Chicago 4-2. In the other semifinal, Montreal takes on New York. The Rangers, counting heavily on all-star goalie Eddie Giacomin, stun their fans by blowing a 4-1 lead in the first game with only 11 minutes to play. They lose the opener and never completely recover from the shock. Boom Boom Geoffrion shows flashes of his former brilliance, capping a successful comeback after a 2-year absence. The Rangers also get solid efforts from Rod Gilbert, Phil Goyette, Don Marshall, and top NHL defenseman Harry Howell. Montreal's rookie goalie, Rogatien Vachon, the kid nobody had ever heard of 2 months earlier, responds to the pressure as Sawchuk did against Chicago. Old-timers can't remember the last time a youngster has come from the lowest rung in the minor leagues to star in hockey's biggest show. While the Rangers make it close, the Canadiens win 4 straight games. They'll face the Leafs in the best-of-7 finals. Montreal, no stranger to Stanley Cup fever. Lord Stanley donated the cup that bears his name in 1893, and a team from Montreal was the first to win the trophy. The Canadiens have captured the cup a record 14 times. Another cup victory, coupled with the fantastic success of Expo 67, would give Montrealers everything they hoped for during Canada's centennial year.
This is Danny Gallivan at the Montreal Forum for the first game of the finals. The Montreal Canadiens are well rested after their 4-game sweep over New York, but the Leafs are weary, having eliminated Chicago only 2 days earlier. This series shapes up as a goaltending duel, Vachon versus Sawchuk. And of course, it's always a coaching battle when Toe Blake meets up with Punch Imlach. Referee Bill Friday drops the puck and the Stanley Cup 1967 finals are underway. Montreal in their red home uniforms, Toronto in white. Right from the opening whistle, the Canadiens show the kind of skating ability that has long been a trademark of Blake's teams. Jean Beliveau leads a 3-man rush, feeds a pass to Joe Tremblay, but Sawchuk makes the save. The Leafs take a penalty, and the Montreal power play puts added pressure on Sawchuk. There's Dick Duff with a shot right on. Watch now for the most sensational save in the hockey game. Tim Horton circles at center, breaks right through the Montreal defense, and appears to have Vachon beaten. It's Beliveau again with Cournoyer and Duff. Cournoyer, the power play specialist, scored 10 power play goals against the Leafs during the regular season. Watch him circle in front of Sawchuk to pick up his 11th, and the Canadiens lead 1-0. The Leafs come right back. Jim Pappin chases a loose puck in the corner. It's out to Larry Hillman, and the game is tied at 1-1. Incidentally, Hillman's goal comes only 15 seconds after the goal by Cournoyer. Henri Richard scores his first of the game, and now we're into the second period. Rousseau's shot is blocked. Richard goes after the rebound, but he's tied up by Marcel Pronovost.
Come on, guys. Let's go.
Leon Rochefort, number 25, with Bob Baum, the only Leaf player back. Rochefort gets his own rebound, but the puck bounces away. Cournoyer gets another power play goal, his 12th. And then Beliveau connects on a perfect pass from Gilles Tremblay. And it's 4-1 Montreal. Now the Leafs have the man advantage. And number 18, Jim Pappin, scores his 4th playoff goal after a fine return pass from Horton. But the Leafs are tiring, and they trail by 2 goals in the 3rd period. Claude Provo, number 14, displaying some of his patented penalty killing. But the big gun in the 3rd period is number 16, Henri Richard, who winds up the scoring with 2 more goals, his 2nd and 3rd of the hockey game. It marks the first time that Henri Richard has scored 3 goals in a playoff game. However, he's not the only Richard to do so. Brother Rocket accomplished the feat 7 times. With Montreal leading 5-2, Terry Sawchuk is replaced by Johnny Bower, who gives up the 6th and final Montreal goal. The Canadiens, solid favorites before the finals got underway, have now gone 15 games without a loss. Before the final series, Punch Imlach referred to young Vachon as a junior B goaltender. However, before the 2nd game, Imlach said, "I'm giving Vachon a promotion. He is now a junior A." The Toronto goalie is Johnny Bower. And Bower, who didn't see much action in the semifinals, is brilliant. The 42-year-old hockey marvel stops rush after rush with some very fine saves early in the game. In all 8 playoff games to date played by the Toronto Maple Leafs, the team scoring the first goal has gone on to win. In this contest, the Leafs strike first with Bob Pulford setting up Pete Stankowski. Bower's artistry baffles Montreal. Rarely does a man over 40 possess reflexes like Bower, a man Imlach calls the most remarkable athlete in the world. In this game, the 4 Maple Leaf defensemen give him all the protection that the goalie can ask for. Hillman, Pronovo, Horton, and Stanley keep the Canadiens off stride, and the Leaf forwards are quick to come back and help out. Ron Ellis, a solid 2-way player, attacks for Toronto as the period ends.
Come on, dig! Come on, dig!
In the 2nd period, Frank Mahovlich brings the puck into Montreal territory. They hold it in. And finally, Mike Walton is left uncovered. Walton's hard shot finds the corner of the net, and the Leafs lead 2-0. Beliveau, Ferguson, and Russo lead a Montreal rush. A penalty to the Leafs gives the Canadiens a man advantage, and they storm in on Bower. Horton and Stanley have trouble clearing the puck. Armstrong and Keon lend a hand, but the Leafs still can't relieve the pressure.
Let's go, come on. Come on, Johnny, come on.
Do it again, come on.
Then, to add to their problems, Cournoyer is penalized for charging. Now the Canadiens enjoy a 2-man advantage, but they still can't get that puck past Bower. Horton later adds to the Leaf total, and the 2nd period ends with Toronto leading 3-0. Bower's most hectic moments are yet to come. In the 3rd period, John Ferguson's stick catches Bower in the face.
That's it, that's the...
The injury to the durable Bower doesn't keep him from finishing the game. He stops a final Montreal surge by LaRose and Ferguson to record the only shutout of the playoffs. Toronto wins 3-0 to tie up the series. The playoffs move to the city of Toronto, home of the Maple Leafs.
hockey fans from coast to coast, this is Bill Hewitt. 16,000 people jam every corner of Maple Leaf Gardens for the third game of the series. They are about to witness the second longest playoff game in Gardens history, a game that won't be over until close to midnight. The evergreen Johnny Bower will kick aside 60 shots before this game is decided. Vachon will turn back 51. Pappin, Stamkowski, and Pulford start the game for the Leafs. 88 minutes and 26 seconds later, they'll finish it. Montreal strikes early in the game. Beliveau, with 399 regular season goals to his credit, opens the scoring at 2:27, deflecting Bobby Russo's pass into the open net. Montreal keeps the pressure on, and Bower has to be quick to stop Yvan Cournoyer and Dave Bellone. At 8:39 of the first period, the Leafs get a break. Larry Hillman slaps a rolling puck, and Stamkowski tips it in. It's a 1-1 tie. No further scoring in the period. Now in the second period, Armstrong and Keon move in with Mahovlich trailing. Mahovlich fights for the loose puck. His deflected shot is off the goalpost, but it stays out. Number 19, Terry Harper, covers up. On the faceoff, Stamkowski back to Hillman. Over to Pappin. Pappin's return pass is intercepted by Provo. A race down the ice, but Hillman gets back fast and knocks Provo off stride. Hillman on a return rush, and his bouncing shot gives Vachon a lot of trouble. Stamkowski tries to center the puck, but Provo is there to clear it down the ice. Bower stops the drive, and now a battle breaks out in the corner with Todd LaRose and Brian Cournoyer trading punches. Cournoyer's overhand right connects, and LaRose is cut for 7 stitches.
Come on, in it.
The Leafs play their best hockey in the second period, and their strong forechecking keeps the puck in the Montreal zone. Jim Pappin grabs a loose puck, and his backhand shot dribbles through Vachon's leg. The Leafs take the lead 2-1. Late in the period, a face-off deep in Toronto territory. Ferguson ties it up, and the teams move into the third period with 2 goals each.
Take over. Come on.
Beliveau facing off with Stamkowski, and the third period is underway. Both teams had good chances to score, but the goaltending is superb. The Leafs appear to be letting down a bit, and the Canadiens hold an edge in play. The man of the hour is Bower, who's called on to make 14 saves in this period. Pulford down the left wing with Pappin and Stamkowski. They keep Vachon busy, but the youngster is unbeatable. A glittering save by Bower late in the period preserves the tie. Cournoyer breaks around Hillman, who stumbles, but Bower slides out to Rob Cournoyer. After the game, Cournoyer used to say, "I knew he was going to beat me, and there wasn't a thing I could do about it." The game moves into sudden death overtime, the first goal deciding the match. The first overtime period features end-to-end rushes and incredible saves by Bower and Vachon. Vachon is at his best against the high-scoring line of Pulford, Pappin, and Stamkowski. Bower stops Cournoyer twice and Beliveau once to keep the Leafs in the game. Keon, who missed a goal with 1 second to play in regulation time, gets a pass to Mahovlich. Vachon smothers the puck. Around the 8-minute mark of the second overtime period, Toronto forces a face-off to the right of Vachon. Stanley keeps the puck in. Stamkowski's pass is off Harper's skate to Pappin. Over to Pulford, who scores. And Toronto wins 3-2. Leafs lead the series 2-1. The fourth game is played at Maple Leaf Gardens, and the Canadiens receive pre-game encouragement from a rabid Montreal fan. He's sure his Canadiens will tie the series, and his bell will herald every Montreal score. The Leafs open with a flurry of shots on Vachon. They hope, of course, that the Canadiens will have trouble shaking off that overtime loss, and they'll be mentally down for this game. But Vachon is not easily rattled. He makes a sparkling save off the stick of Mike Walton early in the game. Walton gets another chance, and again Vachon is in the right place at the right time. Johnny Bower, hero of the overtime battle 2 nights earlier, pulled a groin muscle during the pregame warm-up and is on the sidelines. Sawchuk, with an all-time high of 100 shutouts to his credit, takes over in the Leafs net. But this was not to be his night. Backstrom, number 6, whips one high into the net, and it's 1-0 Montreal. Marcel Cournoyer gets the penalty, and the Canadiens have the man advantage. 6 men to 5. Watch closely now as Bobby Russo's drive from the point bounces off Tim Horton, then off the side of the net. Beliveau whips the puck behind Sawchuk from a difficult angle, and it's 2-0. Pulford gets some verbal encouragement. He winds up in the net, but the puck stays out. That reaction is general throughout the Gardens. Early in the second period, the Leafs tighten things up when Walton's shot from the corner hits the stick and bounces crazily past Vachon. It's a 2-1 hockey game. But Montreal scores 17 seconds later. Richard, unassisted. Horton scores for Toronto, but Beliveau and Backstrom also score for Montreal, and going into the third period, Montreal leads 4-2. And in an effort to shake things up, Imlach sends out Eddie Shack. Seconds later, Shack and Ferguson collide with predictable results. Vachon protects a Montreal lead of 6-2 after Jim Roberts scores, making key saves on Stemkowski and Walton. The young goaltender, a second-string player with Houston in the Central League until mid-March, continues to amaze the experts with his coolness. The period ends, and the Canadiens have defeated the Leafs 6-2. The series is once again tied. Vachon receives a well-deserved salute from his teammates and the Toronto fans.
The teams move back to Montreal for the 5th game. Millions of fans throughout Canada and the United States watch the action as 3 major TV networks, English and French in Canada and CBS in the United States, beam a color telecast across North America. Both teams open up just as they finish game number 4 in Toronto. The Canadiens are in full control, and Vachon appears to be headed for another goaltending victory over Sawchuk. But under that goaltending mask, Sawchuk wears a look of determination that spells trouble for any Canadian optimistic enough to think that goals would come as easily as they did 2 nights earlier. Sawchuk, maligned and taunted in some quarters after giving up 6 goals in the 4th game, makes it clear to 14,700 fans in the Forum that when he's right, he's the greatest. He comes up with key saves on Beliveau and Cournoyer. Yes, the master is back in form. Meanwhile, Vachon is keeping pace with the veteran, and he has to be sharp to stop a hard drive by Keon, who seems to be all over the ice. Henri Richard gets a ride to the boards from Horton, but Richard keeps the puck in the Leaf end. Duff digs it out of the far corner. Rochefort is racing in. Rochefort shoots. It's 1-0 Montreal. The Leafs come right back, and Dave Keon's backhand shot is wide of the target. It's Keon again, over to Jim Pappin, who scores. It's tied 1-1. Pappin from Keon and Mahovlich with LaRose in the penalty box. There's more trouble for Vachon as the period ends, but the rookie keeps the Leafs from any further scoring. In the second period, Sawchuk makes a brilliant save on Beliveau, and Keon stick handles his way out of trouble. Here's Mahovlich with a shot, and Vachon makes a spectacular catch on the rebound. Kelly gets the puck to Hillman at the point. Vachon blocks the shot. But Brian Cournoyer wraps in the rebound, and the Leafs take a 2-1 lead. Now Montreal has the man advantage, but their hopes for a tie are squashed by Marcel Beliveau, who breaks up the power play and scores to make it 3-1 for Toronto. Keon adds another goal, and Toronto gives Sawchuk all the protection he needs the rest of the way. The Leafs win the game 4-1 and are 60 minutes away from the Stanley Cup.
The teams are back in Toronto for game number 6. Gump Worsley, who hasn't played since he was injured in New York 7 weeks ago, replaces Vachon in goal for Montreal. The pressure is on Worsley to turn back the Leafs and force a 7th and deciding game in Montreal. Sawchuk is tested early by Jean Beliveau, but Sawchuk wants to cap a brilliant playoff performance with one more victory. Worsley is kept busy, too. The Big M, Frank Mahovlich, tears down his wrong wing and fires a high one that Worsley turns aside. The ex-New York Ranger goalkeeper is called upon to stop 36 shots during this game. Yvan Cournoyer moves up, but Stanley and Pulford force him to turn and feed Jacques Laperriere. Sawchuk saves. Just one of 40 he'll make before the night is over. Mike Walton, the rookie called up from Rochester in mid-season, hits the goalpost. And there's no scoring in the first period. Now it's early in the second period, and Stanley gives the puck to Red Kelly. Kelly shoots. Ron Ellis races in to put the rebound high in the net, and it's 1-0 Toronto. Pappin and Pulford almost connect to give the Leafs a 2-0 lead, but Worsley moves out to stop Pulford, who in turn is bowled over by LaRose. Now it's Dick Duff's turn to give Sawchuk a bad moment. Duff gets 2 chances, and his second shot is off the goalpost. Peter Stamkowski brings the puck out for Toronto, with Pappin trailing on the play. Pappin, with nowhere to go, backhands a shot in front. It's off Harper's leg and in the net. 2-0 Toronto. Pappin leads all scorers in the playoffs. And the Leafs go into the third period, clinging to that 2-0 lead. They're 20 minutes away from the Stanley Cup. Imlach is getting great performances from his veterans. Here's Red Kelly moving in on Worsley. Ferguson calls for a rally, and Duff sets sail on the prettiest play of the night. A magnificent solo effort around Horton number 7, past Stanley 26, and Duff's brilliant goal puts the Canadiens right back in the game. With time running out, the Canadiens have to dig deep. To date, they've outshot the Leafs, but the Leafs have been blessed with red-hot goaltending and dynamic team play that has stymied the Canadiens at crucial points in the series. Sawchuk gives the fans a performance they'll long remember. Keon sends Mahovlich away, but Worsley isn't giving an inch at this point in the game. J.C. Tremblay moves up. Now there's just over a minute to play. The Canadiens strive for a face-off in the Leafs zone, and seconds later, they get it. Joe Blake pulls Worsley, and the Canadiens have an extra forward for this all-important face-off. Imlach wants Stanley to battle Jean Beliveau for the puck. Both players are experts at getting the draw, and the tension mounts. Stanley moves into Beliveau, and Red Kelly gets the puck. Kelly sends Pulford away, and there's Armstrong streaking up the right side. A perfect backhand pass to Armstrong. And the Leaf captain hits the empty net.
It's all over. The Toronto Maple Leafs have won the Stanley Cup. The Leaf players pour over the boards. They pound Armstrong on the back and they pummel Sawchuk. Keon played outstanding hockey during the playoffs and was awarded the Conn Smythe Trophy for his efforts. This team, they said, was too old and too slow, has come back to win the biggest prize in hockey history, the coveted Stanley Cup. Clarence Campbell, president of the National Hockey League, congratulates the winners as George Armstrong holds the cup aloft, a glittering symbol of pro-hockey supremacy. The new champions are later saluted in the traditional way, a parade to Toronto's City Hall. It's the end of an era, A half-century of NHL hockey comes to a close with the Toronto Maple Leafs reigning as Stanley Cup champions. A new season will bring expansion. 6 new teams in 6 great cities, 12 teams in all, on the trail of the Stanley Cup.